Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up harmed.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas.
Hello.
Sorry we've been gone. We've been very busy.
Still are.
But we wanted to get an episode up for you guys. I think we're probably going to shift our schedule around a little bit to make it easier for us. I think episodes are going to go up Fridays. I'm getting towards the end of the semester for school, so I'm very busy with that. And I haven't had a chance to really look at what's going on with the live stuff. But hopefully over Christmas break I'll be able to look at that. But the Premier League has not stopped. In fact, it has gotten crazier. There are more and more happenings, more interesting games, very exciting games, and lots of banter between fans for the big clubs. Liverpool still leads, and they continue to extend their lead. They are now 8 points clear, 9 points clear of Man City. Yes, you heard that correct. City is not in second. And no, they're not in third either. It's kind of not how I thought the season would go.
Unexpected.
I really thought those two would just run away with it really early. And it'd be a fight between those two as the season went on, like it was last year. That is not the case. Liverpool is definitely running away with it. But Chelsea and Leicester are right up there in the running. It's going to come down to the end of the season as to who plays who, the big games at the end.
Yeah.
It's Premier League. In that case, I guess we could probably start with the big game. Liverpool City played on Sunday. And I thought it would be a lot closer than it was.
I did too.
You thought there'd be...
I had predicted the score to be 4-3 Liverpool. I thought it was going to be a goal fest. These two powerhouse teams, both in form, both playing well, and both going for it. Basically playing like they are where they want to be. I thought it was going to be a much more... I thought the game was going to be a lot closer. And it wasn't. I don't know what happened with Manchester City, or just the fact that the tactics that Jurgen Klopp employed for defending, they managed to shut down Aguero, they managed to shut down Sterling.
Liverpool did have the benefit of City missing quite a few of their big players, including Ederson in goal. Claudio Bravo is not the goalkeeper he once was. He's getting pretty old. He's not a terrible goalkeeper, but it kind of showed with some of his positioning on the Liverpool goals. There were definitely some things that I noticed that I think he could have done better. He just kind of didn't seem
confident.
Active. He seemed very stationary. When you see, Fabinho, who's a midfielder, he's not going to be in the box taking shots very often. And he's taking a shot from outside the box. You got to start moving. He didn't when Fabinho scored that screamer.
Neither did anybody else.
It just kind of it caught everybody off guard. But as a goalkeeper, you have to notice that, and you have to be able to be able to make that save. I think he very easily could have made that save if he was a little bit more on his game. He was moving. He saw it. He read it. He did none of those things. So I think that's what led to the goal.
I think that's part of what led to the goal. There's something that happened just before that I think was really pivotal for how the goal came about.
And honestly, it should have been called back.
It absolutely. As a Liverpool supporter, I'm going to agree with that. It should have been, the play should have been stopped at the other end of the field. Trent Alexander-Arnold got away with a handball. And it wasn't an intentional handball. It came off of his arm, his hip. He was in the air, and the ball just kind of ping ponged around. But it definitely made contact with his arm. VAR reviewed it, said no. But the problem is, excuse me, Manchester City saw the handball, and instead of playing until they heard the whistle and letting VAR take care of it, every one of them ran up to the referee. Meanwhile, Liverpool said, okay, breaks on, and took it down to the other end of the field. And there was a second ball came back out right into the path of Fabinho. He took a step to his right and hammered it home.
What a goal!
It was a really good goal.
Brilliant.
And I say that very often about these players, especially these elite players. Some of these guys are world class players. Raheem Sterling, he's on the England squad. Kun Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne. These guys know play to the whistle. The referee doesn't need your freaking help. Stay in the game. It cost your team a goal.
And that's one of the things that you learn early on. I don't know how it is in England. I'm sure it's fairly similar. But here in America, when I was growing up playing soccer, starting, U6, U8, you play till the referee blows that whistle. Because if he doesn't blow it, play's still going.
Right.
I had a case in my adult league game. We scored basically a last-minute winner. But he hadn't blown the whistle for the game. And my team was off on the sidelines, packing up, getting ready to go. I'm like, you guys need to get back on the pitch. They have another kickoff they're going to try and score from. You have to play until the whistle and the referee calls the game.
Right.
Not how the game goes how you thought it went.
Right.
The referee can make decisions that affects that. And that's what VAR is for, is to try and fix it. It misses things clearly, but you have to play to that whistle. Speaking of VAR, I was very happy with it at the beginning of the season. It hasn't hurt Chelsea that much, so I'm not hating on it.
I was happy with it at the beginning of the season, and I don't know that I'm hating on it.
It's just
excuse me.
It's got work. And the leader of the FA Referees Association has come out and said, this is our first season using it. Give us some time. Let us work out the kinks, and we will make this work. You just have to give us that time, which I'm okay with.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
100% okay with that. But, you have to also, realize it's supposed to catch clear and obvious errors. Was that handball a clear and obvious error? There's almost, in my opinion, a line. Yes or no. It could be. Maybe the referee just didn't see it. Maybe the referee saw it and thought, oh, that's his arms are at his side, which is why he didn't call it.
Right.
It's there's a lot of debate about how it should have gone.
And I think there's always going to be debate on how it should have gone. The Manchester City fans are on one side saying, oh, why did they call that? It should have been a penalty, this and that. And then, and I'm trying to remain unbiased, and I'll tell you straight out, Alexander-Arnold got away with it. It was not intentional, and it's not like he got away with, some major impactful, event.
No, what caused it was the fact that City stopped playing.
Right.
That's what led to the goal.
That's what led to the goal. VAR or the not calling of the handball did not cause the goal. The VAR review not calling it back didn't cost the goal. What cost the goal was the fact that Manchester City felt like they'd been wronged, and instead of waiting to redress their issue later, decided to do it right then and there. And meanwhile, the referee was still refereeing the game. And Liverpool was still playing the game. Manchester City had 3 or 4 of their players surrounding the referee the whole way down the pitch. Out of position, mind definitely not on the game. And that's one of the things that over the years I've talked about, with a lot of these players who are, these world-class players who are, superstars, Aguero, Sterling, these guys are supposed to be professionals, and they think that when they walk onto a pitch, everything's going to go their way immediately because I'm so and so, and I'm wearing so and so kit, and this is a big rivalry game, and we really want to win, so you have to let us win. And it almost seems like that's the mindset. Like, you have to let us. You have to let us. And that's one of my things, and I think we've talked about it before, like with Richarlison, from Everton. He's a good player, but his mindset is, you have to let me score because I'm Richarlison. No, it's not how that's going to work. VAR does need some work. It needs a little bit more consistency. It started off the season fantastic. Yeah. The consistency has kind of waned a little bit, and you can see it from match to match. Depending on who the center referee is, who the VAR official is, you can kind of see where. And you have to understand, VAR is not meant to referee the game. VAR was meant to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to give the referees an opportunity to review what could be a clear and obvious error. Review only. And we've talked about it with the Women's World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Which was implemented terribly.
It was used to referee the game, and that's not what VAR is for. So the referee, I don't know what happened. He could have, the VAR referee could have said, listen, the ball definitely made contact with his arm, but it was in a more natural playing position. If you'd have called that, you'd have been okay. Not calling it, you're okay. And the center referee said, fine, I'm just going to go with that.
I'm going to go with what I said originally.
Right. And as someone who's refereed sports myself, one of the rules you have to use constantly is, if you're not 100% positive, you don't say anything. You have to be sure. And if you're not sure, it could be an error, but that doesn't make it a clear and obvious error. And I think that's what happened here. And again, this is me trying to be unbiased, as a Liverpool supporter. I don't know how much that affected the complexion of the game going forward. I think it might have rattled City enough that they just had a hard time getting back into it, because they didn't play like Manchester City did.
No. Liverpool were definitely the better team.
Until like the last 10 or 15 minutes. And even Jurgen Klopp said that. He goes, last 10 or 15 minutes, we really let our guard down. And it cost Alisson his clean sheet. But it wasn't the really, Duke Nukem drag down knockout match that I anticipate.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now that's taken up 90% of the show.
It's important to talk about. Another thing that I actually kind of want to add on is I think they can do more. If you watch rugby, the referee has a microphone
and a camera.
You can see exactly what he sees, and you can hear exactly what he says. You can hear his conversations with his assistants. I think that would be a fantastic idea for football.
I agree.
Let us see what the ref is seeing. We don't know why he's making that decision. We have slow-mo views and different camera angles whenever we want them, basically. The referee has to make a split-second decision, and then we also, obviously, there's VAR, but only in certain situations. If we could hear, his conversation with the assistant referee on the sideline, like, hey, was that a foul? Yeah, right. Call.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, because that would give us fans time to, or basically clarity. Like,
right.
Okay, that's why he called it. That makes sense. Or, I don't know if that's the right call. Oh, that's, it would give us a little bit of peace of mind. We would understand their calls better. And then we could also, hear the conversations between the VAR officials and the center ref. Yeah, we're looking at, hold up. Nah, it's not clear enough. We can't make a decision right now. You're just going to have to let it go.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I would love to see that implemented. Like I said, it would bring a lot of clarity, a lot of understanding to the fans.
I don't think it would perfect VAR.
No, it's not.
Because there's still going to be somebody out there who's like, oh, that's no. I refereed U8 before, and that's not what that's supposed to happen. There's always going to be that that handful of people, but it would make it definitely more valuable to us as spectators.
Yeah.
I agree.
Looking at fixtures. Congratulations to Watford. They got their first win of the season. That's pretty exciting against Norwich. Norwich has kind of been disappointing. The Pookie party is over. I don't know what happened. He scored some really good goals and then fell off. Hopefully he'll be able to find his form back. Chelsea 2-0 over Palace, much deserved win for Chelsea. Another clean sheet. Only their third of the season, but it's important to keep those clean sheets, especially with the young team that they have. I'm happy with how they're performing. I did not expect them to perform as well as they are this season. I thought this would be a rebuilding season. Give them some time. You got the young players. It's going to be time. It's going to take time after that 4-0 thrashing at Old Trafford. But it's ended up almost being a blessing having all these young players.
Absolutely.
Especially because, the majority of our starting lineup costs less than Nicolas Pepe costs for Arsenal. So that's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Burnley 3-0 over West Ham. That was kind of a almost disappointing game.
It was. It started off really open, really kind of end to end, and then Burnley they never let off the gas, and West Ham just could not find what it took to change anything for themselves.
And Burnley are performing fairly well this season. They struggled last season. They were able to stay up after that magnificent season of getting into Europa League. Last season was not the best follow up, but they're able to they're playing fairly well this season. Newcastle 2-1 over Bournemouth. Another win for Newcastle.
That was actually a pretty exciting game.
It was a fairly evenly matched game, and it was almost one of the most evenly matched games of the season in my opinion.
And DeAndre Yedlin's equalizer in the 42nd minute was insane. Nobody saw him coming from anywhere. And he dove in and drilled it with the top of his head into the back of the net, a la Robin Van Persie in the World Cup.
Basically, yeah.
I watched it live, and I was like, where the heck did he just come from? DeAndre Yedlin's a pretty attack-minded back. He's kind of lost a little bit of his shine over the years, but that's okay. He's still a pretty good player. Never been one of my favorites, but he's still a good player. But that goal was absolutely insane. Saint-Maximin, was probably, my opinion, he was trying to put it on goal, trying to go far post. The angle just wasn't right. He shanked his shot. DeAndre Yedlin saw his opportunity and absolutely maximized it.
he looked at his American counterpart. He's like, "Hey, Christian Pulisic, watch this." Speaking of Pulisic, he did get another goal for Chelsea. He's on 5 in 3 starts, so that's not bad.
All right.
After struggling to get into the starting lineup, the beginning of the season, he's finally taken his place, and I love it.
It's pretty exciting.
Everton finally get points after an early goal over Southampton, and then trying to find that second one to win it. They finally got it with Richarlison. I don't know. Everton just don't seem.
They're not confident.
They're getting points against smaller clubs.
They're winning games they should be winning.
They're winning the games they should be winning, but then again, they're not competing against the bigger teams. No. When they go up against the bigger teams, it's a struggle.
And the fact that they're in 15th place right now after 11 matches is shocking.
Bueno.
Shocking. What's even more shocking is that Marco Silva still has a job.
I have no idea. It makes no sense. He should be gone.
Solskjaer should have been fired.
Silva should have been fired.
Pochettino should be on the chopping block.
Especially after they drew 1-1 with Sheffield. And
they got outplayed by Sheffield.
Tottenham are in 14th.
14th place.
Same points as Everton.
Everton has a -5 goal differential. So they're just being outscored. But Tottenham got outplayed by Sheffield. Sheffield looks strong. They
Sheffield
look confident.
are dangerous.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching them play.
They're still looking for some consistency, but they are definitely going to be in the league next season.
100%. They don't plan on going anywhere,
Absolutely no doubt that they will be in the Premier League next season.
which is very exciting. Leicester. Leicester are in second place right now. And I think the reason behind it is Jamie Vardy has found his goal scoring form again.
Yeah.
After that magnificent 2015-2016 season. Was it that season?
Sure.
That sounds right.
Sounds right.
He scored 11 in 11 games at the beginning of the season, leading to Leicester winning the title. He was unstoppable.
And just he scored, it broke a record, 11 goals in 11 matches, which is exactly where he's at for this season, but they weren't consecutive matches. He's got 11 goals after 11 games.
12 games.
Is it 12?
12.
You're right. Okay, my bad. But they shut Arsenal down, man.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
They shut Arsenal down.
Well, and Arsenal aren't very hard to shut down right now.
Well, because they spent all their money on Nicolas Pepe, who really isn't doing much. I mean, he came on as a sub in the 77th, and really didn't change the complexion of the match at all. You know, and you expect an expensive player like that to come on as a sub,
77 million,
and change something.
Yeah.
And like Thomas said, Arsenal paid more for him than Chelsea paid for most of their starting 11.
Let's see if I can find that list that I sent you.
Yeah, I saw that list. It's absolutely mind blowing.
Chelsea signed Fikayo Tomori, Kurt Zuma, Cesar Azpilicueta, Reece James, Emerson, N'Golo Kante, Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Tammy Abraham for less than Arsenal paid for Nicolas Pepe.
It's just much better business. Much better business. And the thing is when the time comes, I mean, if Chelsea ever decides that, you know, these players need to start going other places, they're going to make bank.
Oh, absolutely.
Because these players have absolutely solidified their name as Chelsea players. They're all doing well. And their stock has done nothing but skyrocket.
Well, and the thing is right now, I don't think they want to go.
Oh, no. You know, I'm just...
These young players have placed their faith in Frank Lampard because Frank Lampard has placed his faith in them.
Put his face in them?
I can't... English hard, okay? He's trusting these young players to go out and play world-class football.
And they're doing it.
And they're doing it.
I think what he did was he came in and said, listen, guys, here's the system. You know how to play this system. We're going to work on it consistently in training. Match day comes, go out, play the system.
And you
give
know
it everything you've got for 90 minutes, play the system, and we're going to do fine. And it's working.
Another thing that's mind-blowing, Tammy Abraham was in the championship last season. He's now vying for Golden Boot in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that Chelsea a long time ago was all about youth. When Roman Abramovich first
That's
took
why they
over,
had 400 players out on loan, because their youth system was so full, you know.
And over time, what happened is you know, they had all these youth players. They didn't use them anymore.
Right.
They're like, oh, look at this record signing we have, and this record signing, and this record signing. And it was like, what about those guys? No, but look at this guy. And finally, you know, over the past couple seasons, it's kind of almost been a struggle. And Frank Lampard comes in. He's like, look, I've been at Derby County. I like this player, this player, this player, this player. Fun fact, you don't even have to pay for them because they're actually your players.
They're already
that
yours.
you've loaned out. Just bring them back and I'll play them.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But I'm very happy. Chelsea are in third. They do play Man City when we get back from the international break.
I think they're going to be fine against City.
That's going to be a good game.
No, the thing is, City
are very angry when they lose.
City does not like to lose and then come back the next week and take it easy on somebody. They get vindictive the next game. So Chelsea's going to have a battle on their hands, but Chelsea's up to it.
I think Frank Lampard knows what he's going up against.
I mean, he's been in the league. He knows what it's like to play against Manchester City. Are they at the Bridge or at the Etihad?
They're at the Etihad.
Okay. That might be the slightest disadvantage for them because City fans are City fans. They're gonna have. They're going to have the home field advantage.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the home field advantage, and it's there.
Yeah.
But I think
look at Anfield.
Fortress, man.
When's the last time Liverpool lost at Anfield?
April 2017.
That's ridiculous.
Last time they lost a match at Anfield. I think that's what it is. April 2000. It's a long time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's crazy.
United finally getting points. They're in 7th this season. Right now.
But they played Brighton. Again, it's a game they should have won.
Played
and they won it by a respectable scoreline. 3-1 over Brighton.
3-1's not bad.
Yeah, that's how it should have turned out. Who got the goal for Brighton? Was it Lewis Dunk? Okay, yeah, it's Lewis Dunk.
And it was late. Yeah,
64th minute.
Yeah, it was already 2-0.
Yeah.
And then right after Dunk scored, Rashford scored
2 minutes.
third. But no, I don't know. United are they're inconsistent.
But I mean, their second goal, Andreas Pereira scored the first goal for United. The second goal was actually scored by Brighton. It was an own goal. Davy Proper had an own goal. But still, 19th, but whatever. Lots of yellow cards, man. So it was a pretty chippy game.
I don't remember there being that many yellow cards.
Let's see. Brighton had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellows, and United had 2. So 7 yellow cards.
Oh, that's what it was. The referees were favoring United. Nah, I'm joking. That's a joke, okay? No, I don't know. United are just inconsistent. Solskjaer just can't seem to get the same
he's not doing
effort out of the players week after week.
Again, I'm just every Monday after a weekend of play, I expect to see in the news somewhere Solskjaer's been fired. I expect it every Monday. Now after this one, 3-1, okay, it's a game you should have won. Might have taken the knife back off his neck a little bit, but I don't know how much longer United.
I don't know.
And with him with the prediction that we are going to be in the top 4 by Christmas. Now, granted, they went from they rose 8 points after that win, or 8 places after that win, something like that.
But that's because there is quite literally 3 points in between 15th and 5th.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton can win one game if they play first
and move into 6th place.
And move into
7th place.
7th place. They would move up 7 spots with one win if they play first.
Yeah, that's how tight the table is.
That's how tight the middle of the table is.
Awesome.
I love it. I love seeing teams move we have to win this game where we're down the bottom half.
Yeah. In the relegation zone.
In the relegation zone.
I mean... And listen, we're coming up on halfway. I mean, the Christmas break's coming.
7 games? 7 games still
halfway? I mean, it's coming. This is not an infantile season anymore. It is now in its adolescence.
Full swing, baby.
I guess. Yeah, full swing, baby. And it's exciting. Usually you don't get this kind of stuff in the table and the importance of some of these matches until late in the season, when it gets really exciting, headed up to Championship Sunday. We've got it all season this year, and it's absolutely fantastic. Every game means everything right now. I mean, 3 points for 7 places on the table, man, you got to start training. You got to get out there and you got to play to win.
And they do get a week off this week.
Yeah, international break.
International break.
Are these are what's the international break? Is this?
It's Euro qualifiers.
It is Euros. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Euros or because I know the women have
World Cup qualifiers.
Or is it Olympics qualifiers? One of them. Yeah, the Olympics are coming up, man, and the women with their.
No, it is the European Championship for women. I had no idea that was going on right now. Why don't they advertise that stuff?
I don't know. It's
I'd
terrible.
love to watch that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and another thing, we were talking about it the other day. There's Liverpool's Instagram page had Jurgen Klopp make an announcement the other day that the Liverpool women will be playing at Anfield for the first time this weekend.
They don't play at Anfield?
No, they don't. They have their own pitch, but they have their own training ground. But they're going to be playing. I don't remember who they're playing. I wish I could remember. But I mean, I wish it was stuff like that we could actually find a way to watch too. So if anybody out there has a way to watch, Liverpool women, Manchester City women, every one of these Premier League teams, I won't say every one of them, but I know a lot of the larger ones, and probably all of them, have a women's counterpart. They wear the same colors. They get the same kits.
They do have different sponsors.
They do have different sponsors. The Liverpool women are actually sponsored. Their main sponsor is Avon.
They're playing Everton, so Merseyside derby.
It's a Merseyside derby for the first time women at Anfield.
FotMob does have it at Printon Park, though.
They made a big announcement, and Liverpool supporter club members actually get in for free. So if you're in the area and you're a Liverpool supporter...
So you're flying out tomorrow?
It's possible. If you're in the area and you're official Liverpool supporter, all you have to do is swipe your card at the turnstile, and you're through the gate.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. But if anybody knows a way to watch these women's matches, I mean, just give me more soccer to watch.
We'll watch it.
I'll watch it, and we'll talk about it.
I'll make time in my busy school schedule.
The Liverpool women aren't doing so well.
No, they've lost 4 out of their last 5.
Yeah, they're not doing well. But whatever.
Yep, they lost 4 out of the last 5, and they drew the other one.
Yeah. So 1 point out of 18. No glooming. Yeah, my math's right.
Hey, guess who's in first in the women's Super League?
Chelsea. Okay. The censor kicked in.
I don't think they call it Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Just because it's women's. Wow. I know that's not what you were trying to say.
Chelsea. It's exactly what I was trying to say. I was being funny. Chelsea.
Sure.
Anyway.
All right. One last piece of news. This has nothing to do with games. After the Liverpool Man City game, both squads left to join up with their international squads, and there was a bust up in the English locker room. Joe Gomez and Raheem Sterling apparently got into a physical altercation and had to be separated, to the point that the rest of the team decided that Raheem Sterling will not dress in the game against Montenegro. That's what you get.
Yeah. Gareth Southgate enlisted the rest of the squad to help make the decision, because obviously they were there. And that tells me that Raheem Sterling was the instigator, or at least the escalator. There was obviously some banter about, and considering that they showed up to the England training camp the day after.
Tensions were hot.
Match, those feelings are probably still pretty raw. There was probably some smack talking going on, and who knows, maybe it went a little too far with that. And Raheem Sterling got himself sat down.
I will say there is more and more news and information coming out about this. I just saw something saying that there's a video. It's like an interview with a professional lip reader about like what happened on the field, like in the City Liverpool game, and what was said and what may have caused it.
Uh-huh.
So, juicy news.
Yeah. So another little tidbit: the Northwest Football Awards happened recently.
Oh yeah.
Not exactly sure where they are, Northwest England or whatever, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, young player of the season. Virgil van Dijk was player of the season. Jurgen Klopp was manager of the season. And the short list for Ballon d'Or has
the 30-man short list has seven
Liverpool players.
7 Liverpool players. That's insanity. I don't know. To me, I think Virgil van Dijk is going to win.
I really think he should. And I'm definitely biased, but Big Verge is the man. I mean,
he's solid.
He's so calm. He's so cool. He's so collected. He's always got his decisions already made. I mean, he's playing 3 plays ahead of everybody else, man. It's like a freaking time traveler or something. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
That's cheating. That has to be cheating, right?
It's not in the rules.
All right, I'm going to prove it.
It's not in the rules.
EPL rules: no time travel that changes the game.
But
anyways,
that's what I got.
That's all I got.
That's what I got. This is Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. Thanks for watching. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Click the bell so you get notifications. Subscribe, hit like. Make sure you share. Talk about it with your friends. Let us know what they think. Have them click like, share, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we're going to try to get on a more consistent schedule so it'd be easier for everybody to watch. But they're all there on YouTube, episode 1 through episode, what are we up to now? 59, 60, something like 60 that? Something. But they're there. Thanks to Thomas, who does all of our production and editing and posting and everything. He does a lot of work on that when his schedule allows. Big thanks.
I'm tired of writing essays on George Orwell. I'm sorry. I've written 5 in the past 4 weeks.
Oh, gosh. You can only write 1 essay on George Orwell. He's only one person. But big thanks to our special friend, Macrophonic MC. That's his music you hear at the beginning, at the intro and the outro. There's a link there. Check him out. He's a very talented artist, super cool guy, and one of our good friends. We appreciate him letting us use the music for $0 and even fewer cents.
Very nice.
But the t-shirt shop's still there. Check those out. New designs are still in the works, but again, schedules aren't allowing as much time as we'd like to. It's a 2-man team.
We're trying.
And I'm really just kind of a bench warmer for the team. But anyway, That's Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas, and we appreciate you guys.
See the bags under my eye? Have a good one.
Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up